It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Here we are with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie Johnson. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. And our coverage tonight will be coming to you from Milwaukee, where the Bucks will be going up against the Portland Trail Blazers. For Portland, they haven't forgotten the fact that this team swept them last year in the regular season. This is a game they had circled going in. And tonight we have two up-and-coming teams. Lots of talent, but also a lot of inexperience. Shaq, the youngsters looking forward to this battle. How do they keep their emotions in check?
Well, emotions can be positive, Ernie, if you play under control. Because if you get out of control and start doing crazy stuff, it just goes crazy. But both coaches will work hard to keep their players.
Gotta stop that.
Yeah, man. Well, it's fun future of the league. And I want to see which guy separates himself and says, I'm going to be a dominant player in this league. A dominant player. That's why I love this.
You do that again, I'm going to have to put my fist down.
Does nothing, Ernie.
Oh.
Does nothing.
Here's Kevin.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. David Aldridge is on our sideline. It's East versus West here in Milwaukee. Bucks hope to put on a show for this home crowd. And this game, the first chance they've had to see Portland. They controlled everything in both games last year, going 2-0.
And their series last year was a bit of a comparison between the two conferences. Both were in the middle of the pack.
Well, you said it. I mean, often it's the teams that are in the middle of the pack in their conference which more accurately show the conference's strength than a team at the top or the bottom. At least that's how I like to look at it.
And let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report before the tip-off. Hey, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Well, look, the Trailblazers are a promising young team. They've gone pains at times. Guard Damian Lillard, the work ethic gives them optimism. He says when you have a group of guys that puts in time like to believe, it every day, you know it has to work out at some point. Kevin?
Thanks, Dave. Lillard has become for this team. The Blazers' future is certainly bright with which is experimenting here, Clark, early in the season and trying which rotations work and which ones don't.
Well, that's normal for coaches to tinker a little bit, especially when you've got you put together a different team. So you till you find what works for you, and then you look to stay with it. Ideally, you'd like to be set on your rotation probably greater than a fourth of the way through the season.
Let's take a look at starters for Portland. The incredible pair of Lillard and McCollum are at the 1 and 2. Aminu and Nurkic, and it's Turner in at the 3. The shot by Lillard wide open. Off target with his 3. On defense, the Trailblazers, defeated by the Pacers in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
And their defense practically non-existent. That one, just far too many easy shots.
Yeah, I think they totally checked out, Greg. At least that's what it looked like. When you play that kind of defense, you expect to lose.
And that's out of bounds. Milwaukee will retain possession. It's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. And it's the Trailblazers with the ball. Outside Turner. The dish to Nurkic. There's a screen. Pass to Lillard. Nurkic setting the pick for Lillard. Over Bledsoe. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. We've played just over a minute here in the first. And it's out of bounds. They say last touch by Bledsoe.
no clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Now McCollum had a 24-point outing in their last game against the Pacers in Indianapolis. He feeds it to Aminu. Screen by Nurkic. Three-pointer Lillard. The shot goes in. First of the night. He's 1 for 3 to start the game.
And when Lillard's hitting the tray ball, it really opens things up for him. As good a passer as he is, he becomes a major headache for the D if he gets hot from beyond.
Now here's Henson, following the miss by Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Boy, strange that he bricked that one. I mean, no clue where the defense was, and I'll tell you what, they got very lucky.
They get the rebound. Nurkic can't hit.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a...
Oh! Hey! Ooh, wow! And when the Greek Freak takes flight, I mean, he's looking to tear that rim apart. So ferocious in his throwdowns.
That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Under Armour. Another unleash chaos moment. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will retain possession.
Man, you love the effort. Just getting the hand in there and knocking it out.
Really came close to the pilfer. But they'll take that effort. Mucking things up is sometimes just as good as a steal.
Now here's Lillard. 32 points for him last game against Indiana. Screen by Nurkic. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Turner. Rebound, Milwaukee. Coming into this, having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
Yeah, and fortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
Yeah, you know what? The waters were calm for most of the game. I mean, little resistance. Felt like they could get any look they wanted at any time.
Antetokounmpo passes to Bledsoe. And that's good from Antetokounmpo on the assist by Bledsoe. Antetokounmpo's got his second bucket tonight. Knocked away. On the wing, Turner, 16 feet away, and he hits the jump shot.
And you see the leadership of Lillard in that sequence, keeping everyone involved, not looking to do it all himself, but creating for his teammate.
Now here's Antetokounmpo. He's coming off a 37-point game against Cleveland. Middleton dishes to Antetokounmpo. Henson with the screen. Got a piece of it. Lillard outside. Pass to McCollum. Screen by Nurkic. Out of bounds. Milwaukee takes possession.
Yeah, and C.J. McCollum mostly plays at that off-guard spot with the Blazers, but on a lot of teams, you could see him as the lead guard. I mean, 6'3" in height, and his handles are elite.
Looking at who's out there now for the Bucks. Markers checked in for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Malcolm Brogdon comes in for Tony Snell. And it's Terry in for Eric Bledsoe. The Trailblazers also changing it up. Davis is checked in for Aminu. Reese Harkless comes in for Turner. And Shabazz Napier subbed in for Lillard. Here's Henson. Fouled in the act of shooting. A three-point play chance coming up. And C.J. McCollum can step into that point guard role very comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps it on a string going right or left. To ball handler, calling him a secondary ball handler is almost not doing him justice.
The Trailblazers making a switch here. Connaughton's checked in. That's good from Henson. And Clark, as you watch the game at both the college and pro levels over the years, what has been the biggest change for you in your view of that?
Well, you know what, Kevin, there are a couple of things. The athleticism, the real emphasis on training and strengthening the core, meaning from your kneecaps to your sternum. The work that's done to train the hamstrings and quads and glutes and that core area as a place of power, as your center of power, is one of the significant changes I've seen, not just in basketball, but all sports. And it's benefited the athletes greatly and the overall athleticism. And then from a playing standpoint or on the floor standpoint, I think the three-point shot. I think that's been the biggest dramatic change in the game.
Now Henson following the three-point attempt by C.J. McCollum. Yep, that one goes. Henson's got 5.
Henson very skilled down low. At almost 7 feet tall, the defense cannot allow him to get deep position.
To the paint. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Brogdon. Bucks leading by 4. And Middleton kicks to Parker. Kicks it down to Middleton. Back to Parker. And Davis pulls it down.
The defense did not do a good job guarding that one, Kevin. Don't know how he missed that layup.
Here's Harkless. Good, and it's Napier with the assist that time.
And he's made more than his fair share of those today.
Terry kicks to Henson. Over Davis. Rebounded by McCollum.
Boy, the defense had gone to sleep, so you got to knock that one down.
Here's Harkless. He nails it, and we're tied up. Harkless has got his second bucket.
Good job putting the pass in front of him, throwing it where he's supposed to be, not where he is, paving the way right to the bucket.
Here's Parker. Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game.
Man, you can just see how polished Parker is inside. His post game just shines and glows and glitters. I mean, if he gets the ball in a good spot, he's really comfortable going to work.
And not going to go. He misses the first attempt on the night. At the end of 1, a closely contested game so far. Bucks lead by 2. And we'll get going after this from the BMO Harris Bradley Center. And now a chance to hear from point guard Damian Lillard as he explains his stoic demeanor on the floor.
I was taught to, never let anybody see how you feel.
I would say we probably shouldn't expect to see Lillard starring in any reality shows about his personal life.
Lillard is a young man who is all about taking care of business.
And so far, it's been a closely contested game as we get the second quarter up and going. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown for the Bucks.
With the aggression they're showing early on, I mean, they're driving it to the hoop with authority and force.
Yeah, they're showing some muscle also in the first half as well, and getting a lot of their points in the paint. Really like the balance they've shown.
Here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. Setting the floor for the Bucks. Middleton and Parker holding down those forward spots. Terry is out there with Brogdon, and it's Zeller in at the 5.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Time-dropping delights is what I call it.
Yeah, that's a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yeah, he was on the money, that's no doubt. Brogdon against McCollum. Davis, the pass to Connaughton. The 3. Zeller grabs the board.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Clearly a frustrating missed opportunity there. Perfect screen, got him the space he needed, but he bricked it.
On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, the Portland Trail Blazers are developing a great chemistry for a young team. Damian Lillard takes the team to San Diego every September for bonding purposes. And he told me how much we like each other, how much time we spend around each other. That shows you a team that is really together. It is a unit. We have each other's back. Kevin?
And it's critical to establish camaraderie early on. Thank you, D.A. Sounds like Lillard has this team headed in the right direction. And so here's Portland after the basket by Milwaukee. Again, the miss by the Trailblazers. Bucks leading by 4. And for the Blazers, tremendous scoring talent in their backcourt. How do they turn the corner in the Westbrook?
Clearly, it's got to be with their defense. I think that's where they've had their struggles. They're going to have to get better at the point of attack there and protecting the rim. I think some of it has to do with the lack of discipline, but also you could factor that into being just an inexperienced young group that's still kind of getting their feet wet.
Giannis Antetokounmpo's checked in for Chris Middleton. And the Trailblazers making a change here as well. Aminu's checked in. Antetokounmpo kicks to Terry. Back to Antetokounmpo. And not sure what he was thinking there. Trailblazers trail by 4. Feeds it to Napier. Here's Connaughton. He's guarded by Brogdon. Connaughton kicks to Napier. Knocks down the 3-ball.
The D just sagged off just enough and no hesitation on his part.
Antetokounmpo against Aminu. And the jam by Antetokounmpo.
Just off the charts, incredible athleticism from Antetokounmpo. Fending off contact like a real pro.
Here's Napier. He's coming off a 10-point game against Indiana.
And you know, Kevin, his creativity really on display that night. I mean, he was threading beautiful passes everywhere.
Now here's Harkless. And there's the 3-second violation. And where the shot's been coming from tonight, here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and 3-point shot attempts so far for Milwaukee.
And they are going where the going is good for them right now. The painted area, high percentage, and high volume shots.
Looking at who's out there now for the Bucks. Tony Snell comes in for Zeller. And Eric Bledsoe subbed in for Jason Terry. And the slam dunk by Antetokounmpo.
I tell you, that's why Antetokounmpo is so feared league wide. I mean, when he's close to the rim, he's most likely going to flush it on you.
Here's Connaughton. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Lillard from outside, and no good. Now the Bucks take it the other way.
You know, there's a lot to like about Giannis and what he does on the floor. And you've got to take notice of his defense, even though he's terrific offensively as well. Incredible length and size. Really lets him match up with anybody. He actually erases a lot of mistakes from the weak side with his shot blocking ability, too.
Cranes it from beyond the arc.
Man, the triples keep falling, guys. That's 3 in a row.
I think they're playing too soft on the perimeter. They can't stay so soft. They've got to get up into the shooters here.
Now here's Antetokounmpo. 10 points for him. And he banks in the layup. Antetokounmpo's got 12 in the game. In most advanced metrics last season, Ed, Giannis is one of the top defenders at his position. The stats back it up, Clark, and he certainly passes the eye test.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, what impresses me is he's ubiquitous. I mean, this guy seems to be everywhere at the same time. He makes plays in the paint. He's a rim protector. He can guard on the perimeter some. Man, he just covers a lot of ground defensively.
Now, here's Antetokounmpo. Aminu missing his last shot. 6 to shoot. Over Aminu. Antetokounmpo can't get that one to fall. Trailblazers trail by 6. Here's Lillard. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
And, you know, Damian Lillard has such a quick release. Excellent at getting his shot up and over the defense inside.
And one of the most dangerous shooters in the league, Damian Lillard, only needs a sliver of daylight grade to get that baby off.
Yeah, I mean, he'll brush off the comparisons to Steph Curry, but he presents some of the same problems for the defense. A quick release and just one of the nastiest step-back jumpers in the game.
And free throw good from Lillard. And as Milwaukee continues to invest in the Bucks and this whole franchise, upcoming stadium just one part of the equation. The team also starting their first year with an exclusive G League team.
Well, and that team is out in Oshkosh, Kevin, and should act as a really good resource for developing young players for the Bucks. I mean, a lot of teams have followed this trend, and the Bucks, they went from plan to action very quickly with that.
Brogdon against McCollum. Takes the 13-footer.
A really good rebound in traffic. That's what the big fella's there for.
And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Chris Middleton. Chris, a big effort from you guys in the first half. How do you keep that momentum going?
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the halftime show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson. A tremendous game we're seeing from Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had 4. When does this guy cool off? I mean, he's been stringing together multiple monster games lately. Kenny, your thoughts on the Bucks' first half?
Well, their shooting accuracy was on point. It was good play calling, of course, by the coaching staff, but it was great execution by the team.
Looking at Portland, Shaq, your thoughts?
You know, they haven't shot the ball very well.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
Welcome back to the Great Lakes. We're back on the shores of Lake Michigan here in Milwaukee, in the buildings in the background at Sunset in Wisconsin. Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. Antetokounmpo in this game has been everywhere.
You know, and as effective as he was at slashing to the hoop in that first half, even better at finishing once he got there.
Guys, we saw some amazing dunks from him. I can't imagine he'll be able to top those in these last 2 quarters, but I'd love to see him try.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. Here is Bledsoe. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Here's who Jerry Stotts is starting the second half with. Lillard and McCollum, the star-studded backcourt. Aminu and Nurkic up front, and it's Turner in at the small forward position.
When he's deep inside like that, he's looking to jam it down. An efficient scorer, John Henson.
McCollum dishes to Lillard. Screen by Nurkic. And Aminu kicks to Nurkic. Lillard from outside. Lillard again missing.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
Antetokounmpo against Aminu. Antetokounmpo kicks to Bledsoe. Henson with it, working on Nurkic. 4 on the shot clock. Middleton can't get it to go.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Turner passes to Nurkic. Lillard left side. And the foul on John Henson. That is his first foul of the game. Going up, Clark, you were Mr. Basketball USA, a national ranking. Be truthful. How dominant were you in high school in Cleveland, Ohio?
I was a really good high school player, considered one of the top 2 or 3 in the country in 1979, which was actually perhaps the best high school class ever. Documented by many who follow the game: Isaiah Thomas and Sam Bowie, James Worthy, Ralph Sampson, Dale Ellis, Terry Cummings, Dominique Wilkins. I could go on and on. A terrific class. I was considered at the top of that class as a high schooler.
Agile play to get his hand in there and get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately start the break.
And the replay presented by Under Armour. Unleash chaos, giving us the chance to enjoy that alley-oop all over again. Now here's Turner. Now the feed to Nurkic. Near the three-point line, it's McCollum. The top of the key jumper is on the mark. McCollum's got his second basket of the night.
And that's an element McCollum brings to their offense, the ability to drain the outside shot. It stretches the defense and makes them keep bodies on the perimeter.
Here's Antetokounmpo. He's got 14. Henson with the screen. Bledsoe kicks to Antetokounmpo. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now.
Well, you really got to love the hustle from the Greek freak, Antetokounmpo. I mean, he's got a ton of confidence when it comes to beating up that glass.
Here's Lillard. after the basket by Milwaukee. Screen by Nurkic. Lillard dishes to Nurkic. And Henson sends it back.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, as they're looking to battle back, that's one of the key elements. You got to rebound.
Here's Lillard. 6 points for him. They're going to have to make a pretty big comeback here.
I think it's be a mistake to let the shot clock get under 10 seconds from here on out.
So timeout called first for Portland. And what I like about Chris Middleton is that he is just a complete player, Clark. Can play on or off the ball on offense as well as get his points both off a catch and shooter, putting it on the hardwood. Also a strong defender.
Yeah, he's one of those understated, effective, outstanding two-way players in the league, and probably should get more credit as such. He challenges shots, he can defend. Multiple positions, and he plays a little bigger than he is because he's got that great wingspan.
Now Henson, after the missed three from Damian Lillard. Bledsoe for three, nailed from three-point land. And the Bucks lead by 14.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Dishes it to Napier. Nurkic a screen on Bledsoe. Here's Napier. Portland no good that time either. Bucks leading by 14. Kicks it to Henson. Passes it to Terry. Terrific assist. A nice finish. Solid play all around.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Napier kicks to Nurkic. He dishes it to Lillard. They need this, and it's good on the layup. Lillard's got 8 points.
Boy, I love watching Lillard turn on the Jets, using that astounding speed to blaze past the defenders.
The pass to Terry. Oh, the lob to Parker. Henson shot is off.
That's smothering defense. Chicken and gravy defense. Him an inch there. That's how you guard the inside. Yes, sir.
Now, here's Lillard. He's got 8.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
Out to the right wing. Harkless with the steal. 1:09 left in the third quarter. Offensive rebound. Davis. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And a chance now to review the shot chart for Portland.
This chart shows things just aren't falling for him like they used to do. He isn't ice cold. Is falling his way, and he's become an inefficient source of points for his team.
He's off on the first.
And, you know, last season the Bucks, showing their resilience as a team quite nicely, looked to be falling out of the picture in early February, but then came on strong to snag a playoff spot in the East.
Looking at who's out there now for the Bucks. And Antetokounmpo's checked in for Parker. And Malcolm Brogdon subbed in for Jason Terry. Now here's Henson. He's got 9. Just 5 to shoot. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. It's on Damian Lillard. You know, the Bucks really did look dead in the water for a bit before the All-Star break. Lost Jabari Parker, being 8 games under 500. But boy, the month of March, 14-4, they really rallied.
Yeah, they found themselves in a big way. And despite losing Parker, they got some players back at the same time. And there wasn't a big change in the team. They just bared down against the challenge and adversity. A lot of close wins, and the team really started to gain confidence by virtue of winning those close games.
And so he makes both from the line.
The former Tar Heel, John Henson, is incredibly efficient on both ends of the court.
36 seconds left to play in the third. Screen by Nurkic. Brogdon against Lillard. Over in the corner, Harkless. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. For Portland, they have shot 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight.
And just to mention, a season ago, they were very comfortable at the line, hitting about 78% of their free throws.
That free throw, no good. And Portland making a change here. Turner. And that trip coming up empty, missing both. Milwaukee leading by 15. Antetokounmpo with the ball. 18 points for him. And the slam dunk by Antetokounmpo.
And Antetokounmpo is just a blur. I mean, I don't know how a 7-foot guy with that wingspan and all legs and arms can be a blur, but man, he's like a lightning bolt when he gets room to roll to the basket.
And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Bucks lead by 17. We got more in store for you right after this. And let's listen to head coach Terry Stotts review the game plan with his guys.
Make simple passes. We got him caught trying to make a great pass instead of a simple pass.
Great communicator Terry Stotts, always teaching and developing his guys.
And he likes that they're playing unselfishly, that they're willing to pass, but take some mustard off the hot dog.
And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Bledsoe there with Brogdon, and it's Crisp, and then there's Antetokounmpo, and it's Henson in at the center position. That's the group for Milwaukee right now. Here's Napier. There's the pick, and a wide open look for McCollum, and a miss there on the triple.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
Here's Antetokounmpo, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And one thing you notice with Giannis is just how much better this team is with him on the floor. What he brings on offense and defense is huge as any player in our league.
Now let's take a moment. Get your guys' take on the scoring so far for the Bucks.
Well, I got to say, one thing that stuck out all game is the consistent penetration they've gotten.
Yeah, but they also never seem to get cold from mid-range. Just kept hitting those shots with consistency.
2 shots.
That's good from Antetokounmpo. And great with Giannis. The team is so much more dangerous with him on the floor offensively, and the numbers back it up.
Yeah, Giannis, one of the few difference makers who can impact the game on both ends. Causes a ton of turnovers with his D, but also can facilitate or carry a team with his offense.
Antetokounmpo has the complete and total trust of his teammates. A real Swiss Army knife, a versatile guy. Does everything and anything that needs to be done with the basketball in his hand.
Bledsoe with the elbow. Middleton outside. Now here's Henson. There's a screen. 5 to shoot. And the shot goes in. And the Bucks lead by 21.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Yeah, and you can tell they feel like they can get inside whenever they want to. I mean, it's been carte blanche, full menu for them, and the defense really not offering any resistance.
Now here's Bledsoe. After the miss from Evan Turner. Shot's good by Bledsoe.
Just increasing their advantage. And right now, they're in a zone on both ends.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be terribly deflating for the opposition. Boy, they look helpless. Really getting beat up, physically and emotionally.
Now a timeout called by Portland. Well, Clark, we know one thing. You are a connoisseur of scoring in the post. Which players, in your opinion, do you love to watch go to work on the block?
I tell you, DeMarcus Cousins is really good down there. He's got all of the tricks, and he's got size and great footwork, athleticism as well. Karl Anthony Towns, very proficient. But again, I go back to my man Zach Randolph. I mean, he's close to the ground. He's a lefty, and Zebo just gets it done in a way that I enjoy.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout. They've really been strong on the glass.
Turner with it, now guarded by Middleton. Turner back. A screen on Turner, dishes to Aminu. Great time for Middleton.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation. Roger. Henson against Davis. Henson's shot is off.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Exactly. Can't play it any better than that, Greg. Obviously, I mean, it would go a long way if he's making his shots. Right now, they're behind, and they certainly use his help.
Antetokounmpo against Aminu. Antetokounmpo kicks to Henson. It's stolen by Aminu. Down low, here's Davis, and it's Davis with the jam.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Came up right with the steal. He went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it, too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket, and don't let them set up the defense.
Timeout called, the Bucks. And Clark, we've heard the term empty stats for players that put up big numbers but didn't impact the game to the same level of those numbers. What do you think about empty stats?
I'm mixed on empty stats. Clearly, some stats impact winning more than others, but in this day of analytics, some of the stats that apparently document impact in winning may be overdone as well. Statistics are statistics. They're part of the game, and you evaluate them in the context of a number of variables. So they're here to stay. Empty is probably too strong because they're part of the game.
And the Bucks making a change here. Snell's checked in. Jusuf Nurkic, he's checked in for Portland. Damian Lillard comes in for Shabazz Napier. Here's Henson. And slam dunk by Henson.
How about the court vision of Middleton? Just so good at finding the open man.
And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far in the fourth. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, just offensively, for sure.
Screen by Nurkic. Colin Best. And the rejection by Antetokounmpo.
And the long reach of Antetokounmpo, I mean, stretches for days. And because of that, he's excellent at challenging shots.
Now, here's Antetokounmpo. Whistle on the play. Bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
That's to do. Break.
This one, honestly, feels like he can lay it up against any type of defense, and he can.
Maurice Hart checked in for the Trailblazers. Pat Connaughton comes in for C.J. McCollum.
2 seasons ago, you think about the Blazers, they were a young, overachieving team full of great bargain contracts. Yeah, they're still young, but they shell out big-time cash to kind of keep that young nucleus together. That monster lead continues. They're piling it on.
Yeah, it looks too easy for them. Almost looks, I should say, Greg. I mean, their chemistry really, really at a high level.
Here's Lillard after Eric Bledsoe's score. And Lillard gets it to go. And despite spending big money to keep their young talent all together, last the Blazers, Greg, narrowly were swept in the first round.
Yeah, and some of those contracts are concerned. This team built progress. And still, there's something to be for that stability. This roster given a chance to grow together and develop that chemistry and continuity. Let's see what the ceiling is.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout. Big and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Bucks.
If they had to battle for this win, there were times when it looked like it was maybe slipping away a bit, but they never let that happen, which I thought was a real credit to them.
And that's a product of their mental toughness. Anytime the flow of the game turned against them, instead of caving, they just dialed it up a notch and were able to pull away.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3.
And so they win their first game. It's a 2-game season series, and they'll be going for the sweep the next time they face off.
Yeah, and Greg, when it is just a 2-game season series, the team winning game 1 has that slight mental edge going into the second meeting, knowing they've already solved their opponent one time and only have to do it one more time.
And what a tremendous standout performance it was for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You know what stood out to me, Kevin, was his confidence. I mean, he was taking a lot of good shots and knocking them all down.
It's all about Antetokounmpo. And so it's the Bucks taking care of business in this one. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here, and so is the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Our matchup tonight taking place in Milwaukee, the BMO Harris Bradley Center, as we watch the Bucks go up against the Charlotte Hornets. Checking out the Hornets, a win tonight would bring them to 3-0 on the young.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Our national anthem performance. And David. Thank you, David. And in these early stages, Chris, of the season, how quickly do you start to get a sense of where your team stands and how good they can be or how bad they might be?
I would say that first 20 games is a really good kind of litmus test. Gives you a pretty good gauge to see where your team is. You're going to get to play against teams from both conferences. You have some really good teams and bad teams in that mix. So you kind of see how you play in all situations. Those first 20 games, you establish who you are.
And a look at the starters for the Hornets. Inside, Williams at the 4, Howard in the middle. Jeremy Lamb out there with Kemba Walker. And it's Batum in at the small forward position. Walker against Bledsoe. Picked by Williams. Walker the pass to Williams. Good work there as it goes.
When you have Walker handling the pick and roll, you have to feel confident. Just masterfully shredding the D with his passes.
Pass to Bledsoe. Stolen by Walker. Stolen by Henson. About a minute played so far here in the first. Here's Snell, covered by Lamb. And that one is hammered home.
Okay, 2 hands for safety. That's what they say, right?
That's right. He was ultra safe with that dunk, no question. And it's the Hornets' ball. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
But I like that they attacked those weaknesses. They made them pay for a lackluster effort.
Here's Antetokounmpo, and Antetokounmpo slams it in.
Yeah, I mean, the ball handling and body control for a guy that's Giannis's height, it's really impressive.
Howard with his screen on Bledsoe. Bledsoe against Walker. Williams has a screen for shot clock at 6. No good on the triple. For Milwaukee, they've gotten their first 3 shots to go in for it to start off this game. Antetokounmpo up top. He's guarded by Williams. And it's Antetokounmpo penetrating. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over.
They've come out the locker room. His eye. 4-for-4 to start the night.
And a big story for the Bucks team is that they are slated to play their last season here at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. And then starting in 2018, they'll be playing next door at what should be a beautiful complex.
Yeah, and it was part of the plan to keep the Bucks happy and playing here in Milwaukee. Goal is to have the venue act as a new centerpiece for the downtown district, and it seems like a fantastic place to build a state-of-the-art NBA arena.
Well, they weren't going to stay perfect forever, but still shooting 80% from the floor to start the game.
And Batum kicks to Walker. And there's the pass to Williams. Screen by Howard. Back to Batum. Williams, a screen on Antetokounmpo. Batum for three. That shot, no good. The Bucks go the other way with it. Fresh from a win against Portland.
Yeah, and in that game, we saw a lot of sloppy play from the opposing offense. They coughed the ball up. A lot of unforced turnovers.
Well, I thought they lacked focus. They took too many unnecessary chances. Just a ton of mistakes all the way around for everyone.
For Milwaukee, they've gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. First quarter of action, just under 3.5 minutes played. Henson dishes to Snell. The Bucks shooting their first free throws tonight. The first trip to the stripe in this one. That's good from Snell.
Oh, well, when you go up against the Hornets, you know that they're going to battle you for rebounds. Great job of closing out possessions. They rarely get pushed around on the glass.
Looking at who's out there now for the Bucks. Tyler Zeller's checked in for Henson. Jabari Parker comes in for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Malcolm Brogdon's checked in for Chris Middleton. And it's Terry in for Eric Bledsoe. Broke loose. And Kid Gilchrist kicks to Kaminsky. Here's Zeller and Parker with the block. Now here's Terry. It's Brogdon on the wing. 1:56 left in the first. And it's denied.
Registering one of the highest verticals at the NBA Combine, Zeller can send your shot back.
Here's Walker. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Atlanta.
And he also drew a lot of fouls, forcing the defense to react to his aggressive style of play.
Hornets are a strong rebounding team, Chris. It makes sense when you look at this roster. A lot of strength at every position.
Oh, yeah. Well, and adding Dwight Howard can only help with that. Every time the shot goes up, he boxes out. He's not afraid to get into the paint and battle for position.
Now here's Lamb. 11 points for him in that last game against Atlanta. Walker the pass to Zeller. Pass to Kaminsky. Nice pass in here by Charlotte. Clock at 4. Here's Lamb. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
Now, Jeremy Lamb, I love his game. A very lengthy two-guard out of UConn. Still developing as a player, but he has some great flashes at times. Not terribly consistent shooter, but he's crafty, and he can get buckets. He knows how to make the most of his length on D as well.
And with Lamb mentioning his length as a guard, last season he went off with an incredible 17 rebounds. Remember that game? Those are numbers, Chris, even centers dream of putting up.
Yeah, Kevin, I do remember that game you're talking about with Lamb. A lot of those rebounds came from his activity near the paint on both ends of the floor. When he forces himself to be involved in the action, he's at his best.
And he's good on the second. 56 seconds left to play in the first quarter. On the wing, Lamb kicks it to Zeller. Feeds to Lamb. Unloads from 13. Milwaukee with the rebound. Here's Snell. He has 5. Parker outside. Terry against Walker. Baseline try. Shot by Terry, no good.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those 2 things that he possesses.
pick by Zeller. They set the pick. Stolen by Brogdon. For the finish. Throws down the breakaway jam.
And how about a little bit of showmanship there as he increases the lead?
Oh, I like that. That's got to be, though, a tough pill for the defense to swallow.
Oh, that was sweet, and that's what makes him so dangerous. Not only can he set up others, but he can also be a big-time finisher.
And that does it for the first quarter. Bucks lead by 5. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. And Dwight Howard, a lightning rod figure around
basketball. This is my passion, you know.
It's an interesting concept that Dwight has to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a burning passion to win a championship. He's been in the finals, and this is a guy that's got still a lot to shoot for, he feels, in his career.
That's a great point, Kevin. And the challenge for Dwight is how to balance how serious he is and how passionate he is with having that fun on the court that he's after.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from the Bucks, guys.
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
Yeah, closing down the lane, closing out on perimeter shooters. Interesting first quarter.
So on the floor for Charlotte to start this second quarter. MKG and Zeller at the forward duo. Kemba Walker is out there with Jeremy Lamb. And it's Hernan Gomez in at the center. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Hey, guys, something special is brewing in Charlotte. Point guard Kemba Walker said it's a great start. We know how to play with each other, and we love playing with each other. The best thing is how hard we all work. We're going to grow. Kevin?
And that kind of optimism is terrific, David. Thank you. Walker and the Charlotte Crews seem to be a perfect match. In the corner, it's Kid Gilchrist. Here's Middleton. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
Really, the right play defensively. If you can't block, force him to the line.
And Chris, power forwards today shoot a lot more three-pointers. If you played today, I think you'd be incredibly effective in that role. How do you think you'd be in that role?
Oh, yeah, I think that that's something I would definitely have fun and relished in. I did shoot threes a couple of seasons in Washington and was pretty successful at that, but the style of play was just so different then. Big men were asked to stay in the post, and there was a lot more work in the post, a lot more pressure on the big guy to get to the free throw line to wear down the defense. So the whole game was different then. The big man kind of ruled the game. Today it's a point guard's game, and so what's great is I'd have to step out to give the point guard a lot more room to drive, to take a shot blocker away, or because there aren't any shot blockers. And so I definitely would love to hang out in that corner and shoot that easy three, or at the top after a pick and roll and pop right back. That would have been a lot of fun. Plus it would give you freedom, because when you can shoot that Jimmy like that and you got a nice wet jump shot, it allows that pump fake to work all day. So I would have pump faked a lot from that three-point line on a lot of people, so it'd have been fun to have that freedom as they do today. Just like it's fun watching these young guys let it fly from that three-point line. But when it's played good, free throw. A lot of players who can draw contact, they get a lot of 3 points on offense that way.
Now let's take a look at the most efficient scorers in the NBA from last year's campaign. The fourth spot held by Dwight Howard.
Put the ball in the bucket. I mean, let's have the area.
Second with about a minute and a half gone by. Williams a screen. Back to Howard. That one's off. Still out of sync. Chris, as you said, the Hornets do a good job of forcing the issue and getting to the line. Great rate of free throws per possession.
Well, it's always important to be able to get free throws as an offense. It kills any momentum the opposition might be building. Easy, reliable way to put up points on a nightly basis.
Stolen by Middleton. Brogdon against Batum. It's good, Brogdon.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Walker with it. Now guarded by Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo against Walker. There's a screen. 5 to shoot. Stolen by Bledsoe. And here they come. 14 feet away. And Antetokounmpo with the basket on the assist by Middleton. Antetokounmpo's got 8 points. Here's Walker. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. He dishes it to Howard. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Walker.
All right, here's a look at stats for Brogdon, how he performed last season. Put up about 10 points per game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. Year one, he had to kind of find his way, but he seems poised to make some big strides here in his sophomore season.
Well, the team wants him to carve out a larger role for himself. But talent-wise, he's definitely got room.
Here's Antetokounmpo. Passes it to Brogdon. It's Antetokounmpo on the wing. And Antetokounmpo slams it in.
Incredible reverse throwdown. Excellent body control.
And guys, I'd even go as far to say that was a punctuation dunk. Charlotte calls timeout. One thing that I think many players and certainly many other coaches, Chris, in the NBA love about Steve Clifford is his brutal honesty. He will pull no punches with you.
Yeah, reporters just can't throw cliche phrases at him during the press conferences or he'll dismantle them. The frankness he has with the media and players is one reason players like playing for him.
Charlotte making a switch here. Kaminsky's checked in. Screen by Howard. Kaminsky in the corner. And that'll be Charlotte as it goes out of bounds. Hornets retain possession.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Oh, man, yeah, he read it all the way. He got a jump on it. Very close.
Just 4 to shoot. Drills the three-pointer. Batum's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Well, that just speaks to the confidence Batum has in himself. He likes to catch and shoot, Jay, because it catches defenders off their guard.
Here's Bledsoe. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in. And the Bucks lead by 17.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
Here's Howard. Antetokounmpo pulls it in.
Solid rebound there. And with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Bledsoe against Walker. And again, it's Eric Bledsoe. Bledsoe's got 4 points in the quarter.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
That's a 2-pointer from Walker. Makes good on the step-back jumper.
Good D. Better roll. Walker's showing a lot of confidence in that jump shot.
There's the dish to Antetokounmpo, and it's out of bounds. The Bucks able to retain possession here. And to look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for Charlotte.
Look, they've been aggressive looking to get inside, but they haven't finished especially well when they get there. I like the attack mentality, but you have got to finish play.
Tony Snell's checked in for the Bucks. Terry comes in for Malcolm Brogdon. Hornets trail by 17. Batum dishes to Zeller. Now here's Lamb. Terry covering. And Lamb kicks to Kaminsky. And there's another one for the Hornets.
Soft touch on the mid-range jumper. Kaminsky taking with the deep.
Bledsoe passes to Henson. Over Zeller. And the Bucks miss again.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
For Charlotte, they have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. First one falls for them.
And the key piece in one of the biggest NBA trades over the past few years. Lamb was sent by the Rockets to the Thunder in exchange for James Harden. That was a major trade.
And the Bucks making a change here. Parker's checked in. Out to the wing. Snell dishes to Antetokounmpo. Out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession. Hornets trail by 13. And here's Batum. He picked up 18 points in their last win against Atlanta.
Don't forget, he also racked up 3 steals. He showed terrific anticipation and heart on the defensive end.
1 second left, and it's good off the back of the rim and in. Kid Gilchrist has got his first points of the night.
Oh, it's crucial for Kid Gilchrist that he nails these shots. Always working on expanding his game.
And so it's Milwaukee. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Chris Middleton. Chris, it seemed like you all were dictating tempo in the first half.
Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. A competitive matchup for Milwaukee in the first quarter. Their field goal percentage was a robust 50% in the period. That's something they can hang their hat on. They played a determined brand of basketball in the second quarter and began to pull away as we reached the half. That 11-point lead must be looking good to them right now. Shaq, let's get your take on Milwaukee.
Well, I like it, Ernie, because they're just not settling for outside shots. You know, that part of the game is pretty when it's going in.
And that's all we.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The buildings of downtown reflecting off the gentle waters of beautiful Lake Michigan. Here's Lamb. Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. And Milwaukee, looking at who they've got. We've got Antetokounmpo. Tony Snell is out there at Bledsoe. Then it's John Henson, and it's Middleton in at the 3 spot. Howard. And the lead is down inside single digits. Howard's got the first basket of the second half. That one for the Hornets. Well, one reason why Nick Batum is so valuable on the basketball floor is his ability to guard multiple positions. You hear that a lot with front court players, but Chris, he gives you that flexibility as a guard.
And his length is a big part of why he's able to do that. You always want a rangy guy you can put up on a shooter for the other team. Very often, Batum plays that role because of his ability to bother shots and check a multitude of players.
And Walker kicks to Howard. He feeds it to Lamb. Ball stolen. Walker against Bledsoe. To the middle, Howard with the steal. Outside, Batum. They get a hand on it. Howard, the pass to Batum. Howard kicks to Batum. From deep. The offensive rebound. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
At this point in his career, Williams knows his role. He doesn't play outside of himself. You love that about him. He focuses on playing within the system.
And Marvin Williams, for a long while, had been viewed as a tweener. You know, a player who was stuck somewhere, Greg, between the small and power forward positions.
Yeah, and for a lot of players, that is plenty to get you minutes. I mean, Williams has improved on his defense here later in his career, and hey, he shot more threes, and it's really become a weapon for him over the course of his career.
Hornets trail by 9. The feed to Walker. They set the screen. Now the Bucks moving it up. And Middleton, the basket on the assist from Antetokounmpo. Middleton's got 7 points.
And unfortunately, we've seen a few too many of those. A lack of concentration, a turnover, and an easy bucket in transition.
Charlotte calls timeout. There are a lot of players who seemingly have ice in their veins when the game is on the line. They do not blink. When you think about those kind of players, who might be the most mentally tough in the league right now?
Wow, it's so hard to tell who really is mentally tough because you don't know what these guys are thinking. But I know who looks like just cold stone, just merciless players out there, and that's Kawhi Leonard. because you never know. You know, Kawhi is a nice guy, but you know, he'll shoot a shot that'll end the game and then just give you such a cold look. And I think Isaiah Thomas is that way. I mean, I think so many players, of course, LeBron, Curry have been that way their whole career. But Kawhi Leonard seems to be that next coming of ice in his veins.
Now here's Lamb. He's tightly guarded. Can't hit the step-back jump shot. Bucks leading by 9. Dishes to Antetokounmpo. Second half of play, and we're 3 minutes into the third here. And the slam dunk by Antetokounmpo.
Taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. For Charlotte, they've gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the third quarter. Howard setting the pick for Walker. Stolen by Middleton. Outside, Antetokounmpo. Back to Middleton. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. And we take a look here at the shot chart for the Bucks.
And really what jumps out to me about this shot chart is just how aggressive he's been when on the floor. I mean, he's doing everything he can to get as close to the hoop as possible before putting up that shot, and it's worked out in a big way for him and his team.
Cody Zeller's checked in for the Hornets. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist comes in for Williams. It's interesting to see the impact of technology on the game, too. I heard LeBron James. A lot of players now review footage on a tablet when they check out their play.
Well, yeah, you know, back in the older days, a lot of us went to the locker room, and you would go in the room and watch it on video. So it's the same type premise. It's just that, you know, technology is better today. I mean, every guy wants to do it. You want to know what you're doing well, what you're doing wrong. You're all a coach on the floor. You're the quarterback, and LeBron especially is the quarterback of his offense. So it doesn't surprise me before that he's studying tape.
Antetokounmpo against Zeller. Henson, and slam dunk by Henson.
And he just dangles from the bucket after sending that one through.
And you can see which team has the swagger right now. Walker the pass to Hernan Gomez. Outside, Kidd-Gilchrist. Walker is screen on Brogdon. And Zeller kicks to Walker. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Pass to Lamb. From past the arc. Charlotte no good that time either.
Look, it hasn't happened yet, but he's got time to find his rhythm. And if he does, they can turn this thing around quick.
Antetokounmpo kicks to Middleton. Pulls up. That one doesn't go. Now Charlotte takes it the other way. They'll host the Denver Nuggets after this one. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home. Shots good by Walker.
Well, the shooter of Walker's caliber, I mean, you can't allow him to shoot with his feet set.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game.
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, a player that isn't known for his offense but makes up for it on D. Fantastic defender who can completely disrupt an assignment in a number of ways. Very quick and can stick to someone like him.
And with Kidd-Gilchrist, his defense is definitely his most important asset. Really, until his offense comes along, Chris, it's how he'll make his biggest impact on a team.
Well, that's perfectly fine for a player like MKG. He gives you defense and great rebounding on the wing, Kevin. He's active on both ends of the floor, and he brings the energy when he's in.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Parker comes in for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and it's Tarian for Eric Bledsoe. Milwaukee needs to get off a shot here. Shot's good by Middleton.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Oh, you're up by double digits. They're trying to keep the momentum, keep the foot on the neck. That's his focus right now.
Now the pass to Batum. Back to Walker. He kicks to Kidd-Gilchrist. Over Middleton. Kidd-Gilchrist, no luck. Milwaukee leading by 15. Pass to Brogdon. The tray. It's rebounded by Charlotte. Outside, Kidd-Gilchrist unloads from 13. And Walker gets it to go on the assist from Kidd-Gilchrist. Walker's got 5 points in the quarter. Here's Henson. Makes it off the glass. And the Bucks lead by 15. And so it's Milwaukee riding a 15-point lead at the end of the quarter. They've been playing some inspired defense, giving up very few easy points. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. And for Milwaukee, their shooting is beautiful right now. 60% for the game. Pretty much everyone out there has been stroking it. On the court, Charlotte, the forwards are Kid Gilchrist and Kaminsky. Walker and Batum teaming up in the backcourt. And it's Zeller in at the 5 down low.
Even that close to the bucket, that's a very tough finish in that kind of traffic.
And Kid Gilchrist kicks to Kaminsky. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Kaminsky's got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for the Hornets. Terry with it. Six on the shot clock. And it's Parker at the elbow. Over Kaminsky. Parker's shot is off. Hornets trail by 13. Walker dishes to Batum. A few in just. And the layup's good off the glass.
Well, it looked as if he would never find his game after that awful first half start, but he's really hitting his stride in the second.
Kicks it to Henson. Over Zeller. And that one comes up a bit short. They're looking at the single digits. Outside. And again, Charlotte with the triple.
He's been a different guy here in the second half. His shooting percentage far better than it was before the break.
Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. This is it to Brogdon to the inside. Henson against Zeller. It's deflected. Walker against Terry. Stolen by Terry. Milwaukee leading by 8. Out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession.
Oh, that's just a lack of communication. Two guys just the same page.
Some Charlotte. Howard comes in for Zeller. And Marvin Williams subbed in for Kid Gilchrist. The Hornets have gotten all 3 of their shots to drop here in the fourth quarter. They came out of the break on a roll. Tipped away. And so the ball out of bounds. Henson touched it last. And the Bucks with some changes. Giannis Antetokounmpo comes in for Jason Terry. And Eric Bledsoe subbed in for Malcolm Brogdon. The Hornets also with the sub. Lammy's checked in for Kaminsky. tipped. Stolen by Bledsoe. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. 3-on-3. Here's Howard. Rebounded by Snell. Snell's got his third rebound tonight. Antetokounmpo kicks to Henson. Tomb with the steal. And again, the Hornets missing.
Almost. Look, he gets inside is a good one, but the D hangs in there and makes it a tough one.
Bledsoe right side. Parker outside. Feeds to Antetokounmpo. There's a good screen. 6 to shoot. Out of bounds. Charlotte takes position. Chris Middleton's checked in for Jabari. Screen by Howard. Now here. Howard on Dune. Shot's good on the assist by Walker.
Well, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Back to Bledsoe. He dishes it to Henson. To end the drought. Bledsoe passes to Antetokounmpo.
Just Mr. Reliable again here today, Kevin. I mean, they need his points, and he's producing.
For Charlotte, they've gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. And Lamb kicks to Walker. Howard setting the pick for Walker. On the wing, Lamb. And the 3 off target.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, if he can just break through this cold streak, he can give you what you need.
Antetokounmpo against Williams. And a wide open shot from Bledsoe. Sinks the three-pointer. And now a 10-point Bucks lead.
He might not have the long-range ability of some other guys, but he will knock down open ones like that.
Now the presentation of our Jordan player of the game, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And he's been dialed in from the field, Kevin. Good on over 60% of his attempts. They've been working the ball around well, and he's benefited with a lot of open looks. And boy, has he made the most of it.
The better he played, the more these fans got revved up. And that continued to play out over the course of his amazing performance. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Hey, guys, I had a chance to find out what Steve Clifford talked about with his players. He said, hey, we're still in this thing. We just have to trust each other out there. Be aggressive, stay together, and play as a team. We're coming back and winning this one. Pretty confident words, Kevin.
Now Lamb. Screen by Howard. Howard setting the pick for Walker. To the paint. Shot to stop the run.
Walker strikes a nice balance between scoring and finding his teammates. That time for a wide open Bucks.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee. They're leading by 10. 1:02 left to play here in the fourth.
And now as the clock ticks down, this is going to end up as a solid victory here for the Bucks.
What do you think was the deciding factor in this one?
I think you have to look at their field goal percentage. They just shot the ball much better than the opponent, and they were getting great looks all game long.
And during the long NBA season, each contest important here tonight. Tonight's win will give them 4 on the season.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Shaking their heads. There were times when they thought they had a handle on him, and just like that, he'd go off on another tear.
And how much longer are they going to keep that foot on the accelerator?
At this point, it's just icing on the cake. Terrific run, closes it out.
Inside, here's Howard. The shot's good on the assist by Walker.
And that's Howard's comfort zone. In close, in the bucket.
The dish to Snell. To the inside. Here's Antetokounmpo. And Antetokounmpo slams it in.
And really just unselfish basketball on the interior. That's the kind of pass a coach loves to see.
And the Hornets call time here. They're down by 9. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The feed to Williams. Charlotte no good that time either. Now here's Antetokounmpo. Takes a three. Gets the bucket.
I'll tell you what, the energy in this arena, you can feel it.
Well, a well-earned victory, feeding off the energy of this hometown crowd, really all night.
So no problem for Milwaukee as they get the win. Some good competition, but the hometown advantage and their ability to stay focused, I think, made the difference.
Yeah, and the first step in becoming a good team is your ability to win at home. And they really seem to revel in that opportunity. And this is what they came